incredulity. Yeah. You wouldn't respond with skepticism the way the young aide did, because he was clearly concerned about what those orders meant. You know, it's 50 miles out, it's 30 miles out, it's 10 miles out, you know, do the orders still stand? He didn't seem like he was recounting orders that said shoot the plane down. All of that notwithstanding, why would they do this? And again, why wouldn't they do this? Look at everything they have to gain. Our civil liberties have been eradicated over in the States. I mean, we're inching slowly towards a police state. It's happening very gradually. It's very akin to the analogy, if you turn you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, if you turn it up slowly, the frog won't jump out. That's pretty much where we are at this point. We're the frog in the pot of water. The heat is being turned up very slowly on us, and a lot of people either aren't noticing or do notice and are apathetic. Or, even worse, they do notice and feel that it's fully justified by the events of 9/11. You'd be surprised how often it comes up in conversation over there. Oh, well, we had to do that because of 9/11. We had to do this because of 9/11. We had to tase this kid in this college, you know, because he could have been a terrorist. We had to... What was it? Oh, man. There's so many examples of things happening in the United States that simply couldn't have happened without 9/11 as a pretext.
There's so many points you make there. You know, obviously it's really fascinating. No. There's so many points there. But I mean, as you know, I haven't seen the whole film. But haven't Al Qaeda virtually admitted responsibility for the attack? So they were proud of it. Where's your thinking on that?
I don't doubt that Al Qaeda was involved to a degree, and I certainly don't feel that Osama bin Laden had absolutely nothing to do with it. These hijackers did exist. They absolutely existed. But then that gets into the question of why were some of the hijackers trained at U.S. military bases? Why are there ties between the Pakistani ISI, the American CIA, and Muhammad Atta?
Excuse me, sorry about that.
It's all right.
Who's there?
Someone's just running.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's all good.
Okay,
Don't worry about it.
Okay, still running.
If you want to go back to
no,
Al
cool.
Qaeda,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that Al Qaeda had a degree of involvement in what happened. I also don't doubt that the hijackers existed. But when you start to look into the hijackers, who they were, where they came from, you find out that some of them might have trained at U.S. military bases. You find out that there are ties between Muhammad Atta, the lead hijacker, the Pakistani Inter-Services Intelligence Agency, the ISI, and the American Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, all focused around a $100,000 wire transfer that was wired from the head of the Pakistani ISI to Muhammad Atta. This wire transfer has not only been denied, but has been censored from White House transcripts. When a reporter asked Condoleezza Rice about it in May 2002, any information relating to the ISI chief is simply left out. All the other transcripts about that, all the other transcripts from that press conference, put in all the ISI stuff. You know, what the White House did is they made it seem like, oh, we couldn't hear ISI chief, you know, because they just left it. You know, the reporter's question says, "Are you aware of the reports at the time that ISI chief was in Washington?" In all the White House transcripts, ISI chief is just left out, like they couldn't hear it. So that's fishy to me. But getting back to Al Qaeda and their involvement, you know, the tapes we've gotten of Osama bin Laden, we've barely ever gotten the original audio track. It's been next to impossible to verify the chain of command of where they came from. The infamous bin Laden video that was broadcast in December 2001, it's a Department of Defense translation. We have to take them on their word. There's also international establishments, a German TV station, a German television channel, Das Erst. They have a program on there called Monitor. And right after the bin Laden tape came out in the United States, they had a bunch of Arabic translators on there saying, well, we've listened to what original audio we can get our hands on, and to us, the White House's translation of that is very problematic. They pretty much put in things where they wanted to hear them. Like, they pretty much just put in whatever they wanted in there. And again, this is not according to me. This is according to Arabic professors that are very well renowned overseas.
But having said that, weren't the tapes originally sent to Al Jazeera, which is an Arabic channel anyway?
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, I don't doubt that. But I'm saying when that tape, well, the December bin Laden tape was allegedly found by They said it was when they were going through homes in Afghanistan. I don't know if it was Army, Special Forces, whatever. But it was the U.S. government that was responsible for that tape, was responsible for it coming to the light. When it comes to other ones, the 2004 video, the 2007 video that just came out, those are questionable as well because we don't know where it's filmed. We don't have any. We really don't have any chain of custody other than, oh, we've got this new Bin Laden tape. And then you've got the 2004 and the 2007 video, which look eerily identical. I mean, the shots are the same. Bin Laden isn't the same. There are some minor differences. Obviously, his beard is a lot darker. I just have a serious problem with anything the U.S. government gives to us without some kind of chain of custody or some kind of explanation where it came from. And certainly when they're not transparent about what's being said on the tape. When they're giving us well, I mean, I understand that they gave us a translation, but it's another thing to give us a translation without the original audio to verify it.
And can you tell me exactly what your theory is with Flight 93, of course, the flight that never did crash into a building?
Flight 93 is very interesting. You know, I've gone there. I've talked to a lot of locals there. I talked to Barry Lichty, who is the mayor of Indian Lake, which, as you know, is the lake that's 2 miles to the southeast. You know, I'll actually go into that. I talked to the mayor of Indian Lake, Barry Lichty, and he said that he was in his home on the morning of 9/11. Him and his wife were watching TV, and the sequence of events is their power went out, they heard an explosion, their house shook, and when Barry and his wife got up, you know, to go inspect what happened, something flew over their house. And the words that came out of Barry's mouth was, "It sounded like a missile flew over our house. They were going that fast." He swears to this day it happened immediately after Flight 93 crashed. He swears that there's no way it was Flight 93. And it can't have been Flight 93, because Flight 93 was up here, and Barry's house was down here. And Flight 93 was traveling in this direction. So, you know, if it crashed, and he heard the explosion of the crash, and a plane flew over this way, it had to have been something coming from the same direction as Flight 93. Barry maintained that he feels that it was not shot down, but he maintains that there was definitely a military aircraft in the air when it crashed. That being said, you read the 9/11 Commission report, and they say that not only were there absolutely no planes in the area that morning,